Hi, my name's Bret. I'm Head of Sustainability and Climate Change at Coventry City Council. Responsibilities for retrofit programs within for domestic and also business sector, but predominantly focused on domestic. So what I'm going to cover in this brief session, is around looking at ways of creating demand, encouraging the take-up of training, also about potentially development of new products and services, and the role we could play as local authorities in trying to help stimulate that. Coventry recognised early on that it needed a strategic energy partner. We went through a procurement process, which E.ON was finally successful and was chosen as the strategic energy partner. It's a 15-year agreement, and it's not about just providing energy services for the council. It's about revolutionising energy use across the city. It's about developing new infrastructure. We learnt a lot from the Regional Energy Systems Operator project. It gave us a lot of wealth of information about planning for the future. And in addition to that, we commissioned a net zero route map from Professor Andy Gouldston, who advises the UK Investment Bank. And he identified the key areas, and 6 out of the top 10 priorities related to domestic retrofit. So that's how important domestic retrofit is for the city. We're also looking at the partnership to develop skills and apprenticeships, and also corporate social responsibility, benefit community and wider afield. And it currently works. We just finalising the first 5-year development plan. It's a rolling plan that kind of gets reviewed every year. A rolling programme of 5 years work for the future for the city. To get a feel for it in terms of regionally, if we look at Coventry, Wolverhampton, Birmingham, with the 3 cities partnership, established that it's over 500,000 owner-occupier properties that need to be addressed, and around 83,000 for social landlords, and a similar number for private rented sector. So significant numbers, and we're nowhere near making a dent on those. It's no wonder that local authorities handing money back to government for not being able to spend on these programs. Just look at the sheer number of them, and they keep changing. The criteria change, the types of property change, the time frames are too short to be able to realise the measures in time with the time it takes to do. It's causing major dissatisfaction with residents, the contractors, and also is not doing us any favours as local government. This needs to change. If we're going to create demand on a scale, we can't keep running programs like this. Let's have a look at this from the contractor's perspective. Based on not too distant events, contractors had taken some risks. They were thought calculated risks to see government U-turns resulting in major losses for themselves, and now a reluctance to invest in skills and product development because they do not know what the future holds in store. Now we need to address this issue if we are really seriously going to be able to do retrofit to scale. There are also areas around practical policies where we can help with terms of contractors giving real clarities to what's acceptable and what is not. So let's take planning policy in relation to Coventry, for example, which has lots and lots of buildings that are over 100 years old, solid wall insulation, lots of lovely exterior brickwork with sort of detailing that could be lost with cladding work that's needed, nearly exterior wall insulation. How do we address that? So we need to give clear guidance so the contractors know what they can and what they can't do, and make it possible for them to do. We need to get the balance right between conservation of heritage and being able to ensure energy efficiency in the future. We also work in partnership with our other organisations like NHS, Act on Energy, local charity, E.ON, Agility Eco, and others, trying to give public assurances about quality and standards. We've got to address that issue, because if we don't address that issue, we're not going to get the uptake that we need from the public. We're working closely with our private sector housing team and housing enforcement. We have registrations for properties. The process for review is coming up for review. We hope to include energy efficiency criteria in that. And then we know that the minimum energy efficiency standards are coming. They will come into effect. They might be delayed by Sunak's recent announcement, but they will be coming into effect, and they will have benefits to health if we manage to address them. Working innovatively with artists and teachers, working in schools, involving communities, involving the parents and the children, looking at energy efficiency in the home. We're trying to target and get interest increase that demand from the public. Got bids in for funding to do some market segmentation research, to analyse what are the barriers and the perceptions in specific target community groups around the city, and to specifically address those issues. Not a blanket all city approach, but something that's really focused on the particular community groups and the particular issues they are facing, to make sure that we get their buy-in. That's going to be really important if we're trying to get managed demand. We also have a schools program with E.ON and National Energy Action, currently 6 secondary schools, where we're installing rooftop solar and renewables. And it's really giving young people, secondary school, not too far off in terms of going into the jobs market, giving them a clear view that there are job opportunities in the green technology sector. We're developing the local skills improvement plan. And that has a very strong focus on green skills, particularly retrofitting properties, which is most probably the most progressed. And we've created some clear progression routes for jobs. So if you look at the job shop, people go to the job shop, they get forwarded onto Coventry College. There's boot camps, one of which specifically on retrofit. And then those people that go through the boot camps, can then go on to more advanced apprenticeships with Westdale, which is working with our social housing decarbonisation fund programs with citizen housing, and then Dyson, which is doing energy efficiency projects, insulation, etc. across the region. And then in addition to that, we have E.ON, who are currently working up a program as well around providing apprenticeships. Birmingham, of course, got the Retrofit Academy, and we want to tie in with them as well at some point. But there's lots of opportunities there for developing an effective skills program. We also got a strong focus on the just transition. It's important to remember the fact that there are a lot of gas contractors and other people based on fossil fuels industries who could be very adversely affected by these changes. So we need to work alongside them and help them develop new skills, transferable skills, to be able to do the green technologies. In addition to that, we also make sure that people are not disadvantaged when they get involved in retrofit programs, and that their circumstances don't deter them from being able to access grants, etc. Coventry's independent climate change board, with over 25 organisations working together, I've got a key role to play in this. There are a number of investment organisations also around the table that can help develop new financial products for those able to pay. Going to be key in the future in terms of developing demand. Also, it's really key that we ensure that the future properties are not going to be properties that are going to need retrofitting in a few years' time. And that's really important, that we have a local plan policies that really do set high targets. Facing a lot of opposition from certain sectors of the government at the moment, but I think these are key areas in which we need to work. Innovation in manufacture and product design and support for businesses within the city. For example, with Mod Pods have moved into Coventry. They make prefabricated homes. You can literally put a house up in a day, and they're highly energy efficient, aimed at particular target sectors. Ideal opportunities for the future. So to manage demand, we need to address the public concerns and encourage public confidence. We need to ensure some security, continuity for the contractors, so they actually will invest in skills development and change. And we need to work with financial institutions in terms of creating new financial products that enable the able to pay category to be able to access finances to actually affect these changes that we need to be making. And that is a challenge that we all face. I'm welcome to talk to anyone else who wants to share that challenge and move forward. Thank you.